Hi, welcome to the Closet Philosophy Podcast. This is Jeannine. I'm a personal stylist.
And this is Kristen. I'm a fashion writer, and we're here to uncover the ways that your personal style is so much more than just clothes.
Whether you realize it or not, what you wear touches on science, psychology, culture, politics, and so much more.
Hey, Jeannine.
Hi, how you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Oh, good, good. I'm getting ready for fall, so a lot of clothing preparation. So,
Yeah. And so that's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. I'm like super excited for this episode because we're going to get all of Jeannine's secrets about taking care of clothing, making like little alterations to clothing to make them like work better for you, how to get stains out, how to get smells out, how to fix stuff in general. So we're going to learn all of her tips and tricks, and I'm super excited because I super need help with all this stuff. So
yeah, well, it's interesting because like I have always been interested in doing DIY projects. Like I just love doing DIY projects, but when I was like reselling clothing, a lot of times I'd buy things from the thrift store that needed work and needed love, and that's when I really got to know like how to repair and restore a lot of clothes. So this is not just, so it kind of was like kind of going to school for clothing repair just because just like the volume of clothing that I had to repair to sell was much higher than an average person. So this is not just my personal experience from like my clothes. This is like just like repairing like other people's clothes to sell.
yeah, it was
So
like it sounds like you almost it was almost like a master class for you that you had to do like quickly to try to, and you were kind of doing it probably gradually as you encountered the problems that the clothes had.
yeah,
And then you had to like really ramp up on those skills and that knowledge like quickly to get to get it sold, to get the stuff sold.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that you actually like figured out how to do all the stuff and did it is very impressive because I have a very large pile of stuff where I'm like, maybe I can fix that. Maybe I'll end up taking it to the tailor. Maybe I'll take it to Jeannine. No, just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you.
Uh, yeah.
But
No,
but like, yeah.
but you know what though? Like everything I learned from like the internet, from like Google, from Reddit forums, from like TikTok, from Reels, from like just like around. All of the answers are there. Like
Are
all
out
of the
there.
answers I found anyways. And a couple of tips I got from like resell other resellers. And like I
Oh,
had like this I found this like Kate Spade bag in the store, and it had like these marks on it. It was like this embossed leather and had these marks on it. And I was like, "Oh, how do you get this off?" And my friend who's a reseller, he goes like, "Oh, you just put like the rubbing alcohol on it and it'll get it right out." And I was like, "Oh, crazy." And like weirdly enough, I had rubbing alcohol in my bag because like it's so random, right? And then like I was like, "Okay, well, let me try it right now." And I just like dabbed a little bit, poured some in the cap, dabbed it a little bit on my finger, like and dotted it and came right out.
what kind
So
of stain was that?
it was like it looked like a kind of like a paint transfer stain of some sort,
Oh,
like I don't know, like a scuff or
oh,
something like it was like a white scuff.
oh my
And
God.
yeah, and there's like also other things too, like if you get scuffs in your shoes, like if you have suede shoes, you can take like a white eraser and you can erase it, or you can actually go to the internet and buy like a suede kit, and they'll have like a brush and a suede brush and a suede eraser, but it can actually get out like stains and scuffs like out of your suede shoes.
So it brings back the kind of like fluffiness of the suede.
Yeah, it removes the mark. And I don't know if it brings back the fluffiness per
Well,
se.
maybe the brush would do that.
The brush, yeah. So in order to make suede soft again, use a mink oil spray. And like
Okay.
that's what conditions suede, because you can't use a regular leather conditioner. Like leather conditioner is a lot like lotion because leather is just skin, right? And so a leather conditioner is a lot like lotion, but you can't put that on suede because it'll ruin the texture of the suede. So you use like a spray like mink oil, and that lightly evenly distributes the oil so it will come back to its like former glory.
Well, so didn't you have, I don't know if you have them handy, but didn't you just repair a pair of Frida Salvador loafers? I would love for you to show people how they turned out
Yeah, okay. So
because
if
they
you're on the
look
YouTube,
brand new. If you're
yes.
listening to this and not watching, you should switch to YouTube right now because
Yeah,
you can
these,
see these
I mean,
shoes.
I still had to take them to the cobbler to get the heel replaced, but I should have taken a before picture, but this is
Yeah.
like from the era where we didn't wear socks with our shoes, and they were nasty on the inside. They were just dirty, and there was like residue like on the inside of it, and then there was just like and they were just like kind of faded looking. They were really faded looking. And so I actually brushed them. I did the eraser. There's still kind of a little bit of a stain here, but I brushed them. I did an eraser. I used a leather or a suede cleaner. I can't find the bottle and I don't remember the brand, but it was a special suede cleaner I got off of like Amazon or something like that. And then what I did was I let that dry and then I put on the mink oil. And then the mink oil,
And you just let that dry.
and you let them, yeah, the mink oil dries almost like right away, but you let
Oh,
it sit there
okay.
for like 10 minutes, and they're back to being like really super soft and conditioned. And there's, oh yeah, and on the
Yeah, talk
inside,
about the insole.
the insole I use is just like regular leather, and I use what's called saddle soap. So,
I used to have some of that actually, because
okay.
it's literally made for saddles, right?
Yeah, it was originally made for saddles, and so I use this like saddle soap.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
had like this little round like leather brush, and I had like a little cup of water, and this is just soap on the inside. It's just soap, and you just make your brush wet, and then you put the wet brush like in the soap, and which picks up the soap, kind of like a shaving brush. And then you go in small circular motions like on the leather, and then you do small like in small patches, like you clean the leather and then you wipe it off. You clean the leather, then you wipe it off. And
You
then
do
so
it
you
in
don't
small sections.
in small sections. Yeah. And you just kind of work like really slowly. And that usually cleans out the gunk and like the leather. So
The
um,
insoles look perfect, and like it is always kind of yucky when you see like you can see your footprint on the insole from like the dirt or whatever,
mhm,
especially if it's like sandals and you can
mhm.
see the toe part.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
icky. Yeah, so
So
like the saddle soap, and you can use the saddle soap on like bags. You can use it. I mean, if you go on like these people who restore Coach bags, like they
oh,
use saddle soap, and it really brings the Coach bags like back to life. I used it on this leather jacket here. I got this
oh my
vintage
God.
leather bomber jacket, and
Yeah, talk about the shape that was in when you found it.
it was all like dull and kind of dried out a little bit, and it still has a bit of wear and tear. Like I haven't like recolored it or any. I'm not going to recolor it, but it was dull and it was stiff, and you can tell that somebody had really lived in it.
You said it looked like it had been someone's favorite jacket for like 20 years or something.
Yeah, like it was their whole personality was this jacket, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I took it to the leather cleaner. And they said that they would charge like $100 to clean this jacket. And then they showed me their work, and I was just not impressed. I was like,
Mm.
I can do that at home. I know I can do that at home. So this is what it looks like on for
It
the
looks, and if you're not watching, it
it's
looks like a brand new jacket. Is it black?
it's black, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like buttery soft now and everything. So it's
It
it's really
looks
cool.
literally brand new. I mean, at least through the way I'm looking at it. And didn't you say that didn't you have to do a lot of work on the inside as well?
Yeah, so what I did was I took like Woolite, like gentle detergent, and mixed it with water, and then like a cloth, a damp cloth, and put the Woolite in the cloth, and like worked on the inside, the lining. I turned it inside out, and I worked on the lining, and then I went through that in small sections, and then I took like a clean cloth with a clean water, and then it kind of like a rinse in a sense, and then
Oh yeah.
went over it to kind of rinse it a little bit, and then I let the inside dry, and then I took it on the outside, and that's when I used like the saddle soap, and I worked in small sections, wiped it
Mm-hmm.
off, and all of that kind of stuff, and then I let that dry. Like a day of drying. And then I took this like leather conditioner, this
Mm.
or leather conditioner. And this is just amazing. And it just like I conditioned the leather and like that's when it came into like this cool thing.
It
So it's like
looks
totally
amazing.
clean. Even like
Yeah.
the tag was really dirty and it's like the tag is clean. Like the whole thing, it's just like I mean, it did take like a couple of hours, but like
Totally
I
worth
don't
it
know.
though.
But yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, I felt like it was worth it. It's like for me, this is like fun. So
right. And
mm,
didn't you say it had a like sort of an odor also? So cleaning that,
yeah,
all that cleaning on the inside really got rid of that as well.
yeah. So it got rid of that as well. So,
That's just
um,
amazing because if I saw a jacket like that at like Goodwill or something, I'd be like, oh, this could be cool, but it smells and it's not in good shape, so put it back on the rack. Like I
yeah,
would, so that is because I mean, it sounds like you're going to keep it, but I feel
mhm,
like someone would buy that for, I mean, more than 100, like a couple $100 maybe or
yeah,
more,
maybe, yeah, or something like that, or like, at least like 75
at
on the
least,
secondhand market. But
at least.
like,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know better than I do.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do to leather. It's like a whole thing. So, like right now, I'm starting to get into like leather dyeing. So, I have this red
Oh,
leather moto jacket, and I'm going to dye it burgundy. So, I'm waiting for that to come in the mail, the dye.
oh,
So, I will see if it
that
comes out
sounds
good or if it's
challenging.
terrible. But the jacket
Well,
was $12. The supplies were $70. So, yeah, I don't know.
the
It's like
supplies were more than the actual jacket.
yeah, so it's like okay, but it's cool. Like I'm really excited about that. So,
While we're talking about leather, should we talk about handbags?
hmm yeah,
Yeah, because
the
I know
handbag.
that you just organized all your handbags and yeah, let's see it if you don't mind. Yeah,
These are the ones that are hanging out on like little S hooks and stuff.
looks so nice.
But like yeah, I've taken to like I had all my bags in these cubbies and they were all smushed together and they were starting to lose their shape. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't do that. So I actually ended up taking like paper from like packing materials, like acid-free paper, and like stuffing the bag so they can hold their shape. And so you can like go and like sometimes the leather, like I would say like at least like every 5 or 10 years, recondition the leather. Like you don't have to do it all the time. Like at least like probably more like 5 rather than 10, like recondition your leather. It's not that hard. You just brush it clean. You don't even have to clean it first. Like you could clean it if you really wanted to, but you could just like brush it, all the dirt off, and then put the conditioner straight on there.
Okay.
That'll condition it.
And then what is the significance? I've heard the term acid-free paper before, but is
I
that
actually don't
important?
know.
Is that
Yeah, I
important
don't
for
know.
the Oh, okay. I didn't know if maybe that was important for maybe causing a mark on the
No, I don't
leather or
know.
anything like that.
I just I just keep on reading acid free, so
Oh
I just
yeah.
like
I
think
know. I read a lot about that too.
I'm like too afraid to know the consequences of it, so I'm just
If
gonna
it's
say
not acid free.
yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't listen to me. Yeah. So,
Just playing it safe with the acid free.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna show this bag because I mean, everybody knows that you should not just smash your bags, but I have this, I actually just spilled water all over it, so, but it's drying. But this bag is just like a cheap bag that I got in Mexico, but I love it because it's like kind of neutral and it just
Hmm.
goes with a lot of things and it adds like a little casual look. But like it's been smushed, so the bottom is like
Hmm.
permanently like that now. Hopefully maybe I can fix it if I don't know. If I
Absolutely. You could what you can do is you can condition it and when it's still wet, put the paper in there and
Oh,
reshape the bag and then let it
okay.
dry like that and that'll reshape the bag.
Oh, okay.
So,
Awesome. Yeah, because that looks so not great. Awesome. I am gonna try
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Yeah. And so now I have like these boxes that I keep my bags in.
Mm,
The boxes and like they're all
they're stuffed.
stuffed. Yeah. And so oops. Yeah, so they're all stuffed in here. And so
Nice.
and then they're
That's
just
really
like
smart.
so they don't get smushed. So even though this one is on top of the other, it's not smushed. They're not being smushed.
Yeah, if they're stuffed, they're less likely to lose their shape if they're in close quarters. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about is since we're talking about like leather and bags and stuff, is my fur jacket.
Oh yeah.
So I think the prognosis is not great. I don't think so, but this is a good example of something where maybe you could do like you would do something else besides repair it. So I'll show, I have this rabbit fur coat that I got secondhand. I think I got it at the Alameda, that Alameda Vintage Fair. The white cropped, not cropped, but like waist length. And it's got, sadly, a big,
Splits. Yeah, so the coat is vintage and it has like splits in the fur. And this is something that happens when the skin dries out, it starts to split.
yeah.
And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to about that. You could repair it theoretically, but it would
Mhm.
just split someplace else because it's the condition that the skin is in.
It's just too
And
dried out.
it's too dried out. So
Yeah.
so at that point I would donate it to somebody like for like I don't know, just like
Yeah, I think we had found
yeah.
places that like nurse baby bunnies back to health
Yeah, like
with like
coats for cubs or PETA actually cuddle coats. They help baby animals who are orphaned and injured. So there's lots of places you can send your fur that has gone beyond repair.
and they make like little beds for them out of the fur, which I
Yeah.
love. I'm totally going to do that because that makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah.
So
Help a baby
yeah.
animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Awesome. All right. Another thing that we wanted to talk about is clothes, outside of jacket, outerwear, and bags. And first thing I wanted to ask you about is stains. And
mhm,
my like biggest problem with stains is I always get oil stains on my clothes because I never wear an apron if I'm cooking, and my
mhm,
kid is always getting oil stains on her clothes.
mhm,
And I usually just chalk it up to like that piece of clothing is ruined now. But I know
mm.
that you have a solution actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
it's really
mean,
straightforward.
I find so many clothes with oil stains in the thrift store. I was like, why don't people know this? Because the solution is so easy. Like it is stupidly easy. And I
Yeah.
was just like, what? Because like normal fabric detergent does not get oil stains out. It's not designed to do that. But you do have something in your house that is designed to remove oil, grease, and grime and all of that stuff. And that is your dishwashing detergent. So something like Dawn. Dawn is like a miracle stain. It's probably I probably use Dawn on most of my stains, and so
Oh my
you
God.
do have to be careful a little bit because sometimes like it can remove the color of the fabric. So that's happened to
Okay.
me a few times. So maybe test it on a piece of fabric that's not going to be seen to make sure that it's not going to remove the color of the dye. But on most everything, it will remove. It's like I had this friend that had like this she consigned me to sell this like Alexander Wang dress and it had like all these makeup stains on it and I
Oh.
was like, girl, like you need to take this to the dry cleaner. She goes, the dry cleaner said that they couldn't take it out. And I'm like, okay. So I went and I just used Dawn. I used Dawn and you know, I got it out and I just washed it and
Oh, so yeah, because makeup often has oils in it.
mhm,
Yeah, so that,
yeah.
oh my God, I just got rid of so many. I had bought all these white towels.
Hmm.
And like when we first moved into our house and we were have guests, I was like, oh, I want to have these nice big white fluffy towels for our guests. And
Mm.
I soon learned that like white towels get stained really easily because my daughter would have makeup all over her face and then just put the white towel on like she'd put soap on it, but not like rinse it off very well, and then just like smear it off with the white towel, and there'd just be like brown and black and red
Yeah.
makeup all over the towel, and it really doesn't come out in the regular laundry. I
Oh,
mean, white is so hard, and I just decided I'm not doing white towels anymore.
this is something that you want to do. You want to wash them with baking soda and white vinegar on a hot water setting.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and don't use fabric softeners or dryer sheets because that coats the fabric softener basically is wax and
Oh,
it will ruin your dryer, like the dryer sheets and all of that kind of stuff. So don't use fabric softener. It's not good. If you want to soften your fabrics, use like those dryer balls or
oh,
something.
like those wool balls.
Yeah, those wool balls that can work. You can also use like a non-chlorine bleach like OxyClean or like hydrogen peroxide
Oh,
stains or Dawn. I would say Dawn is like really good.
since it's
So
makeup.
yeah, since it's makeup. So if it gets on there, you just like what I do is like I have like a toothbrush, not that I use in my mouth, but like a toothbrush
Of
that I
course.
keep by the sink, and then my sink is kind of close to my washing machine. And so whenever I get a stain, I just like dab it on and then brush it in and then just put a little bit of water on the toothbrush and then like kind of soap it up a little bit. And then I just throw it in the wash, not in the wash, but in the hamper, like let it sit for a while. And then it like 99 times out of 100 it comes out.
That's
So,
amazing. You mentioned vinegar and hot water, and I hadn't thought of this when we were talking before we started, but I bought this macrame bag in also in Mexico, and it's like very chunky macrame, and it got a little bit dirty, so I put it in the washing machine, and apparently this was not a good idea. You're not supposed to put macrame in the washing machine because it apparently can't really, it's so dense that it can't really get dried out, and it like almost instantly started to develop mildew.
mm,
So it looked 10 times worse after I washed it because the mildew just made it all brown and a mess. So I researched how to clean it, and it said hot water and vinegar, but I haven't tried it yet.
try it and but do it in the summertime. So
Oh, when
look
it's
at
like
the
hot
weather,
outside.
see a day that's like 90 degrees outside and do it then.
Mm,
Because like if you do it in the wintertime, that's when the mildew is going to come. So, but if you put it
right.
out when it's hot and dry outside, it'll probably dry all the way through within a day.
Isn't it weird how no one dries their clothing outside anymore? I
Yeah,
mean,
it is weird. It's like it's so much better for the environment too. So yeah, so this is like a thing that everybody like rolls their eyes whenever I tell them. I say like if you're gonna wash your sweaters, wash them now, like when it's still hot, because especially your heavier sweaters, if you wash them in the wintertime, it's too cold and it won't dry and it'll take at least 2 or 3 days to dry, and that's when the mildew comes. And they'll be
oh,
smelly. So
yeah.
wash them in the summer when it's hot outside, and then they dry within a couple of hours. And then you can just put them in storage and they'll be fine.
That makes so much sense,
And
actually.
also, another thing too, like if you're allergic to dust mites, and this is something my husband is allergic to, he's
Oh.
horribly allergic to dust mites, and anything that goes into storage automatically gets dust mites. It's just a
Oh,
thing. So one way to kill the dust mites, because washing doesn't necessarily kill the dust mites, or dry cleaning doesn't either. So what you do is you put the clothes in the dryer on a high setting,
hmm.
and you dry them for at least like 25 minutes, and that'll
Oh,
kill the dust mites.
oh
Um,
my God, I did not know about that.
yeah, it's been a game changer for us since we started doing that because he had to basically throw out his sweaters because there was nothing we could do because of the dust mites. But putting it in the dryer will kill them.
So, but they have to already probably be dry, right?
Yeah, already
And
dry.
then,
Don't put
yeah,
a wet sweater in the dryer because
right,
it'll shrink. I mean, if it's
right.
warm,
Oh,
it'll shrink.
right. Speaking of shrinkage, you've
Mhm.
had a really interesting, like actually totally amazing thing with your pants. Tell us about your shrunken pants.
Yeah, so this is like the thing about shrinkage is like there's actually stuff that you can do like or you can try to do like to fix it. Like,
Because most people
sometimes
think like game over, like
you
it's
know,
too small, it's out of here, like
it's
you're going to
ruined.
donate it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got these like silk Tommy Bahama men's pants at the thrift store, and they were like the perfect length. They hit like at the where like I could wear like a little small heel with them, and they were like full length. They had a little break in them and super cute. And I was like, okay, I love this length of pant. I'm gonna get these. And like the washing instructions on the tag said wash in cool water in the washing machine, which is fine. And then tumble dry on a low setting, which I did on a medium setting. I was like, well, it's like, what's the difference? But apparently it was a big difference because it shrunk jeans shrunk in length by like, I would say like 3 inches.
Whoa.
It was crazy. And, or no, maybe not 3 inches, like 2 inches. And like something that was full length became a cropped, like ankle length pant. And I was like,
Mm,
what? Like, this is
so
terrible. I thought I
sad.
was going to have to throw it out. And I was like, Jeannine, like, look it up online.
Right.
Maybe there's something we can do. So I looked it up online, and apparently, like, all you have to do is take, like, they said fabric softener, but I don't have fabric softener because, like we said earlier, it ruins your washing machine and kind of your clothes a little bit. But what I ended up doing is I used hair conditioner put like a pump of hair conditioner in and then filled up the bottle with water in a
Okay.
spray bottle. And then I misted the pants and then I stretched them back into the shape I wanted them to be. And it took some time. Like I had to stretch and stretch and stretch, but like, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes of stretching, but like I was able to stretch them back to their original length.
That is amazing. So you were pulling them obviously long ways. You were like
Long
pulling them
ways.
down.
Yeah,
And
because
they were okay around the waist? Like they
yeah.
didn't, it was more, they just shrunk up. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I
Huh.
mean, the fabric just went somewhere and it just went with, they just shrunk
It
this
just went,
way, like
yeah.
like they shrunk like vertically, not horizontally. So,
Right.
but you can possibly do the same thing because, for example, like people think like, oh, I put my cotton jeans in the dryer and they shrunk. And I was like, okay, but you can actually re-stretch cotton is pretty easily. It's wool that is harder to
Mm.
do because wool is basically hair. And if you notice, like with your hair, like when you go, it has a grain, right? And if you go
Hmm.
against the grain, that's when you get like all of these knots. It's like kind of
Oh, yeah.
teasing your hair,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so that's because we have like these like little the way that our hair grows. And like sheep's hair is like the same thing. And so basically what happens when you put it in the wash, it like moves it all over the place, like in
Oh, it
crazy
knots it
ways.
up.
And it's basically like you're ratting
Oh.
the wool. And like that's what happens. And that's how it gets like felted. And then putting it in the dryer too, and then it shrinks.
Mm.
So, and with that, it's a little bit more difficult because you kind of have to
Like
undo
untangle it.
untangle it in a sense. So you would put like hair conditioner, put water with hair conditioner, and you would soak it in that and then try to re-stretch it back to its original
Wow.
shape.
Yeah,
And
so that's if you have like a favorite sweater and you're just like so bummed that that happened. It's like worth it to at least try it.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I think this stuff is like fascinating, so I do it all the time. But like you can also do it with cotton sweaters and also I would have to say like nearly all of my sweaters, well, not cotton sweaters, but like all of my wool sweaters, cashmere sweaters and so forth, like I always dry flat. I don't never hang dry your knits. Never,
Right.
ever, ever, ever. And
Because
I
it will pull them down, right? That'll pull them down and they'll get a hanger mark and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wash your wool and cashmere. I mean, even silk knits, I would say silk knits too, by hand with a mild detergent. And then what I do is I squeeze out the water. I squeeze out the water. I don't wring it. Maybe I cheat a little, it's like, like
You
tiny.
know what I do with that? I don't know. I place mine on a big towel and then I
Mhm.
roll it and
Yeah.
squeeze it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's second step two. Then I
Oh,
do
okay.
that. Then I do
Okay.
that. And then I
Yeah.
squeeze it or
I
step
usually have to use like a couple towels because the first one gets like so wet. And
Yeah. So,
then,
but if you
yeah.
squeeze it first before to get out the water, the initial stage, and then put it in the towel, that usually is fine. I have what's called a blocking mat because I'm a crocheter, and oftentimes you have
Oh,
to block your knit, we quote unquote block your knits to give it like the proper shape. And that's like a whole thing. But like what I use is a blocking mat because like sometimes it's like harder to get everything flat if you lay it on a towel. So it's like this
yeah.
kind of like I don't know if you remember when your kids were small, like there were like these like mats that like interlocked with each
Oh,
other. They were
yeah,
like these squares
totally.
that interlock. So
Yeah.
basically, if you have those, that's what it
Oh,
is. And so it's like 9 squares. And like the cool thing about it too is like you can put it like on your sofa or you can put it on a table. Like you can move it around. Like
mm.
if you live in a small place and you can't like devote like the real estate to laying your sweater out to dry like on the floor or something like that, you can put it on
Okay.
the blocking mat and they're
Oh,
like
cool.
20 bucks. Like they're not expensive
Right.
and totally worth it like if you're really into taking care of your knits.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, so I think maybe the last thing, there might be more, but I think maybe the last thing I wanted to ask you about is removing odor. And we talked about it a little bit with your jacket and how you cleaned the lining and everything. But I have a real problem for some reason with t-shirts because I wear t-shirts pretty much every time I teach Pilates and I sweat a lot.
Mhm,
Well, some of the classes I teach are HIIT combined with Pilates, so it's high intensity
mhm,
interval training combined with Pilates, and the HIIT part is the very sweaty part. And
mhm,
I end up being like just drenched in sweat. And for some reason, in particular, the black t-shirts that I wear, I can't get the smell out sometimes. Like I've washed them, and the really sneaky thing is that like I wash it and I think it's clean, and then I wear it, and then in the middle of class, I'm like, oh my God, like
mm.
like it comes out like as I sweat, and
Oh
I'm just like, oh
no, of
shit,
the heat.
like I'm the
Yeah.
smelly one in the class and I'm the teacher.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm sure nobody notices. But okay, so this is what I use, and you might want to test it on if since they're black, you might want to test it first because like I have one of my friends like actually ruined a garment with OxyClean, but OxyClean will
Oh,
get the smell out. OxyClean
okay.
hot water, it will get the smell out. I've used OxyClean in hot water. And Dawn, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if they, you can try using Dawn, that'll work too. Like it's like I feel like Dawn is like the secret weapon. Like in my tool,
Yeah.
like I put Dawn on everything, so it's like I should get a sponsorship by them.
You totally should.
Mhm.
Do you think it has to be Dawn, or what if it's like an eco-friendly version of dishwasher detergent?
Oh yeah, because Dawn isn't good for the environment, right?
Well, I don't know if it is or not. Like
I,
I actually don't have any idea if it is or not, but I was just because a lot of people just default to the eco-friendly just because
mm,
that's what they do.
yeah, yeah. So if it's a kind of detergent that can cut through grease and oil, then yes, it will work.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the magic thing.
Right. Got it. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Also, the one thing we mentioned stuffing the bags, but also you can stuff shoes. I was going to show my crushed shoe.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So this one you would clean, that's a reptile leather. So I would condition it with a special reptile conditioner or like clean it and because it's a bit older, so it needs a
yeah.
clean,
And you can see the
condition
difference
it.
between my insole and your insole.
Yeah, my insole was like 10 times worse. So
Really?
you're actually pretty good. So like and then stuff it with like tissue paper or newspaper or something along those lines. And then
While
that
it's still
will
damp.
while it's still damp and that
Yeah.
will not only help it dry, but also give it back its original
Like
shape.
reshape it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you can, like this is something that I'm saving up for, is to get shoe trees to put into
Mm.
shoes. So that'll
Oh
help keep
yeah.
the shape and stuff. So
My
um,
husband has those and like swears by them.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know why. I guess because he uses them, I thought that they were like a men's thing, but why would they only be for men?
No, they even
That's
have special shoe trees for pointed shoes. So
oh,
yeah, so you can get those too. So that's like a thing that I'm saving up to. I just recently got like a rolling shoe rack that holds 50 pairs of shoes. So I am
nice.
really excited about it. I love it so much. Like it's just so cool. So yeah, yeah, maybe we can
That's
talk
awesome.
about organization another
Oh,
time because we're
that's a
out of
good
time.
idea.
But this has been so fun. I love talk. I could talk about this forever. But what are your questions? Let us know, and yeah, we'd be happy to answer them. So
Yeah, or Jeannine would be happy to answer them.
yeah, well, yeah, I would, or at least like figure it out.
Yeah,
So
we'll figure it out together.
yeah, yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks for asking me, and it was good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thank you so much for sharing all that information.